ريتك تنكسري يا إسرائيل. I wish that you get broken.
She said something more powerful than this. I wish they put the other thing she said. It's my aunt, Haji Kamli Samhat. She's the twin sister of my father, actually. They were the youngest siblings. And I don't remember verbatim what she said exactly. She gave a really long speech that was, she could be a member of parliament. That's how good the speech was. Yeah. Basically putting down all the Arabs and all these leaders that have done nothing for Lebanon in the 2006 war. And at the very end of her speech, she said, you see my house here in Dahiyeh? Fida Ijra al-Muqawamah. And my house in Jnoub, Fida Ijra al-Muqawamah. Which means...
it's sacrificed to the
foot of the resistance. Yeah. Which for me was the best statement she said. But here it has another statement she also said.
ريتك تنكسري يا إسرائيل. I wish you get broken, O Israel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haji Kamli Samhat.
Allah yarhamah.
Allah yarhamah.
Hey everybody, this is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV, and I am joining Jedi Darwish from Colonial Outcasts on a tour back to his hometown in South Lebanon.
Yes, sir.
You haven't been here since
it's been about a year.
War, and you haven't seen your home?
The last time I was in my hometown in South Lebanon was in December of 2023, and I'm so happy we're joining Free Palestine TV to go and assess the damages to my home and have a tour of my village, my father's hometown, and interview some of the locals. And please call me G. All my friends call me G, and you are a dear friend, Laith. Thank you so much for having me.
G, we are in Beirut. Behind us is the Corniche.
Yes, sir.
It is
beautiful Corniche. It's a beautiful day.
Nakba Day 77.
Yes, the 77th anniversary.
May 15th. It's the day that the Palestinians and the Arabic people in general commemorate as the Nakba, the day of the catastrophe when the Zionist colony was created through the genocide of the local indigenous Palestinian population. So we send our condolences to the Palestinian people and wishes that this will be the last Nakba Day that we will commemorate in such a way outside our homeland. We are standing beside a statue commemorating the martyred president Jamal Abdel Nasser. He is considered martyred, although there's no proof of his assassination. This also commemorates the assassination of Kamal Jumblat, the head of the Socialist Party in Lebanon, and Marouf Saad, who was the head of the Nasirat movement in the south of Lebanon. Jamal Abdel Nasser, when the unification with Syria happened, there was millions of people in the streets of Lebanon calling for Lebanon also to join this unity, and it didn't happen because
the Lebanese, half of the Lebanese didn't want to join.
Well, the government in Lebanon, really the majority of Lebanese wanted to join. It's just the Lebanese colonial government has never been part of that, because
we've been a vassal of France in the West ever, from the days of the colonial mandates.
Exactly, the creation of Lebanon in general, chopping it up from Syria by force.
Yes, sir.
This was the beginnings of the problem that we have here in Lebanon in terms of it being a sectarian, structure for a government that has been set since colonial times.
It's a recipe for disaster.
We will be going right now to the south, but this recipe of disaster, of sectarian rule is now been exported to Iraq, exported, as we see, to Syria, beginnings of it, this disease. And we will see the effects of this disease right now that started with Zionism when we go visit your hometown in the south.
Looking forward. Thank you for having me, Laith. Let's go. sorry I had to pick up that hitchhiker. I feel bad for the soldiers in Lebanon because they're not taken care of like the officers. The officers are spoiled brats. They get free gas and free all kinds of things like education for their children and healthcare and I don't know what. And the soldiers get fuck all and they have to hitchhike all the time.
أنا
ليث من الكرة الأرضية.
نص نص. واو.
عادوا هون اذا قلت لكم هيك طاوله اذا
هيدي اوكي.
هون بودك عادوا.
اوكي.
كان في شتاء اليوم الصبح من امبارح.
والله؟ بدنا 3 على ذوقك مثل ما كان يعمل لي اياهم ابو علي. نفس الشيء.
لا احلى.
حبيبي.
لا صار كاشحه المنطقه ما هذا البيت راح اللي هون.
يا الله.
هذا البيت راح.
So we're in this restaurant in Tibnin.
Yes.
We just stopped here.
Yeah.
It's overlooking the whole valley
Yeah.
and some of the southern villages.
Yes.
Can you see your village from here?
Not quite. No. I'll explain a bit. What we're looking at now, we're looking directly south. Ainata's in that direction.
Yeah.
What you have here is this road, this main road artery that's going up the hill there, takes you to Beit Yahun, which is right there. Beit Yahun used to be a ma'bar, a checkpoint for the Israelis and their proxy army, Lahad army, what they call the SLA. I have so many memories of this area from my childhood when I came the first time and entered the occupation zone for the first time, and the memories I had coming and going during that year. And then later on in life, when I moved back here to clear all the landmines that were littered throughout this area, I know this area like the back of my hand. You can drop me anywhere and I'll tell you where we are. I have a nice story actually to tell, a good story. The first time I ever stepped foot in Lebanon, I was 13 years old. Off a skateboard and BMX bike into a war zone to South Lebanon. And the first time I entered, they had to make me a permit, a tasrih, to be able to enter because you're not allowed to go inside without one. And even the taxi driver who took us from Sur inside the occupation zone also had a permit. Otherwise, a regular taxi wouldn't be able to take us. I spent a year here, and that's when I first started to speak Arabic, actually. And I sounded very much like an Armenian at the beginning, or an Armenian speaking Arabic, messing up all the feminine and the masculine. Anyhow, the nice story I'd like to share with you guys is, it happened right here on this road. The last Lebanese checkpoint was, you can't see it, it's behind this building. It's that way. So the road goes down from here where we stopped, where we parked, goes down. The last Lebanese checkpoint was there. You go up the hill, and before you reach the Israeli checkpoint to enter the occupied zone, there was a UN checkpoint right before it, a few hundred meters before it. On one occasion, we exited, we were leaving, and the same day we left was the same day they killed, they assassinated, I should say, a traitor that, I don't know his real name, but his nickname was Jalbout. Jalbout. And this man was an evil man. I forget which area he's from. I think Bint Jbel probably. But he was the Rabih, or the person in charge for the Israeli proxy militia that was operating in this area. Ugly man, he was short. He
The Lahad army.
Lahad army. He had a really long beard like ZZ Top, gold chains, gold everywhere, and just an asshole to everybody. He was an asshole to me too. He didn't like the fact that I was a young teenager coming into the occupation zone when most of the young men were trying to leave. And if they didn't leave, they would get conscripted by force, many of them. So that occasion that we left, that particular day, as we were driving north to Beirut, I remember it so vividly. There was 3 ladies in the back, myself and my father in the front, in the passenger seat. You know how they used to put the 2 people in the passenger seat, and the taxi driver, and he's driving stick shift, so he's like crushing me all the time with his
Crushing your
you know, it was a very uncomfortable ride, I should say.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the road, you know, he had the news on, and they announced the death of Jalbout, and we had just seen him that morning.
wow.
We had just seen him. And the way I found out was funny. The women in the back, بلشوا يزلخطوا. They started to doing the زلغوطة.
Ululating.
Yeah, and I was
English.
like, I got startled. Yeah, I got startled. I asked Dad, like, Dad, what's going on? He started laughing too. They were all chuckling. And he said, remember that guy we just saw who was always an asshole to you? He's gone now.
Wow.
Yeah. So on our way back a few days later, they closed the checkpoint for a period of time when that happened. And they were supposed to open it a certain day. So we were coming back. And they decided not to open it all of a sudden. However, there was a line of cars from the checkpoint all the way down to here. Down to the bottom of the hill. That's like 2 kilometers, maybe 3.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Right? To get to, a line of cars. And who are in these cars? Old people, children, women, no young men, because young men don't go into the occupation zone, And we arrived at the very end, me and my father, in this taxi. And my father was really upset. And my father, like myself, is also a veteran of the US military. He immigrated to the US in the 1940s and was drafted into the Marine Corps and is a Korean War veteran.
Wow.
So he has a lot of clout and he doesn't take shit from anybody. He's like, come with me. He got out the car. We walked all the way up the hill, walking. Took us a while. It was summer, it was really hot. The families in the car were thirsty, tired. They just wanted to go to their homes. We got up there and we made it to the checkpoint and they saw us coming. And of course they know my dad, he comes and goes very often. And they don't give him a lot of smack because he's a US citizen, he's a veteran, and he actually gives them smack. Mm-hmm. That's what he used to do. And he gave them smack that day in front of my eyes. And they opened the checkpoint and he made sure everybody got inside and then we went in.
Wow.
You guys are about to have the best Lebanese chicken sandwich you've ever had in your life. I've tried all the restaurants all over Lebanon. I don't care what you say. Abu Ali's chicken sandwich is number 1.
I think Jay wants to start a tribal war. Because every village will say it's the best village. He's gonna get us in trouble on FPTV
Bon
right
appetit,
here.
شباب. تفضلوا.
For me, as a Lebanese Syrian visitor, every village food is the best, okay? Keep me out of this tribal battle. Yum.
صحتين. There you go. Enjoy.
لا رايحين احنا بس هو اللي مش رايح هلا حيتفاجئ.
Now on the other side of the hill from where we just had lunch, on the other side of the valley, where I was pointing to the direction of Beit Yahon. We're not quite in the village yet. Beit Yahon is further up the road. This was the Ma'bar, or checkpoint, one of the checkpoints. You had one in Naura, you had one here and elsewhere, where you could enter the occupation zone with a permit, obviously.
The South Lebanon Laith Army region.
Yeah,
I can see here some
that's
barbed wire.
Exactly, some old barbed. We're actually standing in a former minefield right now.
Wow.
This was a minefield that my teams and many of the commercial NGOs, commercial companies and NGOs helped clear.
And just for our viewers that don't know, you volunteered for the UN demining.
Yes.
Corps here in Lebanon.
I worked for an agency called UNMAS, the United Nations Mine Action Service. I was employed for them for quite some time, for over 15 years. And I worked also for the Geneva Center and a short stint with Backtech International. Yeah. So this here was the former fighting position. Now it's just a pile of rubble, but it was a fortified position.
With bunkers
with
under there.
all bunkered. And call sign H would come up and attack them from the hill. So this whole area was mine. east and west of here was all mined, and behind the position as well. They'd search the vehicles. You know that story I was telling you about my pa?
Yeah.
When we came up, we'd come up this road, we walked up and we ended up here somewhere. The buildings are no longer there, but that's where they would search the vehicles and people and allow people to enter. And this is where Jalbout was killed, right here.
It's the ending that any collaborator should have.
Yeah, all collaborators should just be erased, eliminated. I strongly agree with you. This is the first time I'm actually seeing this forested area again, and I think you guys were pointing out to me that those gaps in the forest line are where airstrikes took place.
Yeah, they targeted a lot of the green spaces in the south, any of the nature reserves. They were trying to set fires to the whole region.
Right.
We saw them, of course, use these hoses and firing diesel and flammable material from their positions, and even had those
Catapults.
Yeah. It's you know, people don't understand the extent of evil.
You know, the environmental
Zionism is.
impact alone, just the environmental impact is so devastating. People survive here from sustaining their land. Olives, tobacco, almonds, figs, all the crops that grow up here in the high mountainous area of Jabal Amal, or what biblically is known as Galilee, Jesus country I like to call it. This is Jesus country. This is where Jesus is from.
This is where he preached.
Yeah.
You know, the Zionists love to say Jesus is Jewish, but we hate him, we killed him, right?
Yeah.
Of course, he was never Jewish, because to be Jewish is to believe in the religion of Judaism.
Yeah.
And he didn't preach to the Jews in Palestine. He preached to the Canaanites in Jabal Amal and in Palestine and in Egypt.
And he preached against the what were they called? The Jewish clergy at the time.
Well, we can call them the Zionists of their time that collaborated with the imperialists.
With the Romans,
with the Roman occupation. There's so many similarities repeating from 2,000 years ago. And of course, both the parents of Jesus Christ, if you don't want to believe that his dad is God, are from Jabal Amal,
from Nazareth.
From
right
Nazareth,
here, not far.
Is a Canaanite city that spoke Aramaic, that never was Jewish, even during Jewish rule time.
I like to say, because I'm from this area, Jesus is my cousin.
Of course. We call him the Canaanite prophet and the Jesus of Palestine.
Yeah.
You know, there's now thousands upon thousands of unexploded ordnance. Not only in the fields, but now in the villages that were...
And the white phosphorus they've used extensively is going to take, I don't know how long, for, you know, the earth to naturally recover itself from that poison. And how this is going to affect people who plant olives and harvest olives and other crops. It's definitely going to affect them in a bad way.
You know, the most dangerous effect of white phosphorus is not on the complex trees, the fruits, that they clean up their system before the fruit reaches the nutrients there. The most, it's the topsoil. Anything that grows on the topsoil, exatar, anything that's of the wild herbs that people collect, this is going to be dangerously poisoned. And the topsoil, when the rain comes and is dragged down the stream into the water system, that is going to have a lasting effect for decades to come. You
know, they've also shot themselves in the foot by planting all these species of trees and plants that are not indigenous to Palestine. And look what happened to them just recently. They all caught on fire. Those trees that are not indigenous to this land don't belong here. Just like them. They don't belong here.
Oh, yes.
يا مسافر وحدك يا مسافر وحدا وفايتني لتبعد عني لتبعد.
So now we're in the center of Ainata, or near the center, and here we have a mural that was painted several years ago. It's my aunt Haji Kamli Samhat. She's the twin sister of my father, actually. They were the youngest siblings. And she became somewhat famous in 2006 because she was seen in Dahiya, in the southern suburbs, going to check on her apartment. And first LBC tried to come and interview her, and she said, fuck off.
LBC, for those who don't know, is the Lebanese Broadcasting Corporation, but it's really should be called the Israeli Broadcast Corporation.
Yes. And then Al-Manar TV saw her immediately after that, and they asked for an interview, and she immediately accepted.
الله يريدك تنكسري يا إسرائيل، الله يفضحك يا إسرائيل، الله يريدك إن شاء الله تكون مشردة مثل ما كنتي بزمانك. لك ودول العربية هالمخاسة اللي بتتفرج هيك بعينيها وافي عم تتفرج علينا، ولك ما بدي بيصيبنا رح يصيبهم. يعني لما بدقوا بلبنان بكره بدقوا بسوريا بكره بدقوا بمصر بكره بدقوا بالاردن. لك فرق تسمع يكونوا متضامنين متحاجين. ان شاء الله السيد حسن بضل تاج ورافع راسنا فيه والله يخليه. ولك هو رفع راس الامه كلها، لك هو رفع راس العروبه كلها. نحن لك كل اللي صار مش هذا بيتي راح ولك فدا اجر المقاوم، لك فدا اجر للمقاومه وبيتي بالضيعه راح فدا اجر للمقاومه.
I wish you get broken, O Israel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haji Kamli Samhat.
Allah yarhamah.
Allah yarhamah.
This is part of why they are targeting Arabic women in general.
Yeah.
To weaken their resolve.
Yeah.
This is why they also are targeting Palestinian and Lebanese women for killing specifically.
Yeah.
Because a woman is the one that raises a man.
They're so sick, the Zionists, to a point where even their, what is it called, merchandise, like they have T-shirts showing a pregnant Arab woman with a target on her pregnant stomach.
And it says 2 for 1.
Exactly, something genocidal like that.
Yeah. And they have been targeting pregnant women.
Yes.
I mean, this whole thing is also part of this demographic threat that they talk about. They mean the Arab womb.
Yeah.
The Arab woman's womb is a threat to them.
Yeah.
And maybe our viewers don't know this, but the Arabic people in the area between Algeria and Iraq had the biggest loss in population between the time of 1880 till the end of World War II. People talk about how many Russians were killed in the World War II, and that's a huge number. But most Arabic countries, from Algeria, Tunis, Libya, Egypt, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, they lost 1/3 to 1/2 of their population in those genocides. And the armies that passed through our area, the Nazi armies that passed from Algeria to Egypt, and before them the French and the English. So we are a target. Our rebirth is a target. It's a threat to the Zionists that want to be the majority in our region. And the only way they can do that is by genocide and targeting our births.
As a matter of fact, my grandmother was a casualty of that war, the Second World War. She was going to, I told this story in the previous episode of Colonial Outcasts. She was going to visit my grandfather, who was working in Haifa at the time, because that's what the men did. They would go to the cities and work, and there was no border back then. And on her way there, a battle ensued between the Vichy and the British. And she was killed on the train she was on while she was going to visit my grandfather. He heard that this train was hit and knew his wife was on her way to come visit him. So he went there to that area to see what happened, and found her body, found her corpse. And the British officers who were taking records, asked him, how do you know this is your wife? She's all mangled up. And he reached into her dress pocket and pulled out the key to our home.
Yeah.
And so in order for them to release the body to her, they sent him, the corpse, and another officer, or the same officer, I'm not sure, up to here, to the village from the coast up here. They drove up here. They had the body on the hood of the Willis Jeep, so I heard. And back then, the men traditionally wore the white hatta with the black agal.
Yes.
And if you took the black agal off, it means you're in a state of mourning.
Yes.
So as they entered the village, he stood up in the Jeep and took it off, and they did the adhan, and they knew it was his wife immediately. And he knew, he already knew. He didn't have to try the key in the door. But for them to release the corpse, they went up to the house, he tried the key in the door, and it worked.
Yeah.
So, in fact, my grandmother is a Holocaust victim, as a matter of fact. Holocaust victims are not just Jewish. They're Gypsy, Roma, homosexuals, Slavics, all kinds of
Arabs,
people.
blacks.
But for some reason, Jewish people are the special ones, the exception in that regard. When in fact they're not.
We're in the center of Ainata.
Yeah, this is the very center, the heart of Ainata.
Who are we standing behind there, behind us in front of?
I'm very sad to say this is where the main mosque once stood. It was the mosque that I learned how to do my Islamic daily prayers, actually, as a matter of fact.
And you came from the US, you had to also do Arabic courses with some of the beautiful old ladies here that were...
Yes, yeah.
They
taught me Arabic.
They remembered you immediately when they saw you.
Yeah.
And so...
A beautiful story about this mosque, unfortunately we can't see it now, is... Well, not a beautiful story, but an interesting story is... there was this situation after 78, I don't know exactly what year, 78 or 82, when the Israelis entered at some point, and I don't know if it was the Haddad or Lahad army at the time, one of them, they did an attack on Souq bint Jbel on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were killed. It was an artillery attack. And not only the Souq, but also Ainata was hit during that attack. And the minaret of the mosque was destroyed. And my father rebuilt it.
Oh.
Yeah.
May God bless his soul.
Yeah. Over here once stood a beautiful mausoleum of the martyrs from the 2006 war, right in front of us.
Me and Hadi, in our tours over the last few months in the south, we noticed how the Israelis deliberately were targeting the martyrs' graveyards, cemeteries, and the markers, for the martyrs around in different streets. They would go into the village and just destroy the graveyard or the markers.
Yeah. So here were buried many, many people from the 2006 war, including my step-uncle who was killed in the house we're going to go see now. And I don't know what has become of his remains and everybody else's remains, because this was a gutted out, bombed place, and it once was a beautiful memorial with a dome.
We saw how the Israelis also were going into the cemeteries in Gaza and ripping them all up on purpose, or just bombing the cemeteries. I mean, they Zionists hate human beings from before they're born, targeting women that are pregnant, till after they're dead, targeting the cemeteries and the graves of people.
I don't know what can be more sacrilegious than that. To dishonor a dead person, to dishonor the dead, is the most sacrilegious thing, I believe.
You saw the graves of Jewish British soldiers that are buried in Gaza. You know, the graveyard of the Jewish soldiers dead in World War II in Gaza are the only ones that are still not touched. There's still people protecting them, and the Israelis bombed everything around them, including the graves of other Western soldiers that died in World War I, but not the Jewish ones.
We have British Mandate, Australian and British soldiers buried here in Marjayun, and that cemetery still exists. Nobody has disturbed it.
And what is this here?
Here is what once was the Husseiniye, or what in English I think is a seminary, Shia seminary. And it's basically like a community hall where they do Malajistazia and other gatherings here, religious or otherwise. And it was completely destroyed, but they've put up recently this tent so that they can still, the townspeople can still have their community meetings and ceremonies.
And we can see that the paramedics, the local paramedic troop and fire trucks are now stationed here with this temporary structure container, because the paramedics post in Ainata also was targeted and destroyed. So now they have to do their services from this outpost.
I don't even know where his grave is. Oh. My best friend, my brother. Oh, that's him.
Ya Allah. Ya Allah. It's the whole graveyard they destroyed.
This is my stepmother.
Ya Allah. Allah yarhamah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الرحمن الرحيم مالك
She was like a mother to me. And this is my brother.
Ya Allah.
This is the Samhat Hamoudi residence. I was last here in December of 2023, and nobody has been inside ever since. So let's have a look.
And we saw that the house just down there was hit.
Yeah,
So most of the houses probably around here lost their windows.
yeah.
Inshallah, the damage is not going to be too extensive.
Hopefully it's not. In 2006, it was pretty extensive. As the way it looks now so far, not as extensive as 2006. So
Ya Allah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
It seems some of the roof tiles have been affected. You can see the stone on the...
Yeah.
We'll see it when we go up.
Yeah, we'll go up to the roof in a bit. Bismillah. Welcome, guys. Welcome
Alhamdulillah.
to my family home. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Ya Rabbi.
Oh, wow. This was my brother's bedroom. We turned it into a TV room after he passed.
The glass on
Yeah,
the balcony door.
I actually, before I left, I wedged this against, this is supposed to be back here. I wedged it up against the door. The reason being, in 2006, the Israelis did not enter all of Ainata, but they were on the outskirts over there on the Aitarun side. And they entered many homes, defecated on the floor, graffiti, destroyed everything. So I just tried to make it harder for them
Yeah.
by doing stuff like this. And also you'll see in the living room I did the same thing.
Yeah. You know,
My family is half Christian, half Muslim. So we celebrate all the holidays.
Most people in Bilad al-Sham used to celebrate, and still do a lot of them, celebrate all, because we view all of these things as ours.
Yeah.
And Muslims love Jesus Christ.
Yes, of course. You cannot be a Muslim and not believe in Jesus Christ.
And this new Wahhabi cult that the British fed and the Americans after is the one that created this sectarianism that we see. That's the sunroom?
That's the sunroom. Exactly. That's exactly what we call it, the sunroom. It used to be a balcony, and then we turned it into a room. Guess which little rascal is me
out of those?
in this photo here.
Oh, I thought you were born bald, Jay. Oh, yeah, let me just look. It's the little one, no?
The little one, yeah.
The little baby. You can see you were not happy about Zionism all the way then.
Yeah, never. I was born in 1978, in December. I won't give you the date because that's too much information. But the Zionists invaded my village in early 78, I forget which month. This house was partially damaged in 2006 and renovated. My uncle was killed in this house. He was killed in the living room, actually.
Yeah.
In that living room we were just in. I'll show you his photo now.
Allah yarhamah.
He was killed in 2006 in the last days of the war. As far as we know, it was, like I explained earlier, the Israelis had entered the outskirts of Ainata on the east side. Mm-hmm. So they had some Merkava tanks there, and he was sitting right here. This wasn't here. He was sitting right here. There was a couch here, and he had his sufra, and he was about to have a meal. And I guess they saw the candlelight or something, and shot a direct line of sight tank shell into this room.
Yeah.
Good. I put this UN flag here, which is now faded, just as a precautionary measure. Maybe, you know.
The Israelis wouldn't target the UN? Well, as we saw in Israel.
No, not true, yeah.
They've targeted
Look at this shrapnel,
so
look.
many.
I found this here.
Wow.
This was on the floor. This is direct frag, not secondary frag. This is real frag. Ainata, for the most part, what's the word? Survived much better than Aitarun, for example. Aitarun is completely destroyed. Habib, just that way, completely flattened. What else? Yarun, that way. Luckily, Ainata, in this regard, geographically, is not directly on the border. Between us and the border is Marun al-Ras, Aitarun, and in that direction, Yarun.
Yeah, they would say it's a second line
It's
village.
a second line village, yeah.
And most second line villages fared better.
Yeah.
But there is some that are around the Naqoura area that got damaged even much more.
Yes.
Because of how deep they went in with their occupation.
And what they did after the ceasefire, yeah. Most of the damage was after the ceasefire. Because they don't fight fair. They never fight fair. They use tricks. They're sly, cunning. They do war crimes.
Definitely they are some of the
Genocidal maniacs.
most unhonorable fighters on the planet.
No honor. Desecrating graves. How sacrilegious is that? Unbelievable.
You know, I mean, you living in the U.S. must have had to deal with all this, since they started the genocide in Gaza and the destruction of Lebanon, taunting people, saying, yeah, this is not the old Jew you knew. This is the...
You know what I tell that person? I challenge you to a DNA test. That's
Yeah.
what I told that person.
Yeah. Well, like what I mean is they try to claim that, the weak Jew of the Holocaust is no more. It's now that vicious Jew that fights back.
Yeah,
This is what they try to tell everybody. And
We're probably more Jewish than them.
yes, and the truth is also the warriors, the Jewish warriors in the Warsaw Ghetto that fought the Nazis are more manly, more of a warriors than the whole Israeli army put together.
True.
Those people fought fascism. They didn't fight. They were not fascists themselves, and clearly these Zionist cowards wouldn't have lasted one day in this war if not the whole might of the West, the empire ruled from DC, didn't dedicate all its resources and weapons and intelligence to defend them. They would have lost against the 3,000 warriors of Hamas alone would have taken down Israel if the United States didn't bring the largest fleet of warships since World War II. 84 ships they parked on the coast of Lebanon to scare us. And they still, till today, now it's 17 months, they haven't defeated Hamas with all the might of the West combined.
True. So to all the Americans out there, is it America first or Israel first?
That's a big question they have to answer.
They get free health care, they get free education, they get subsidized housing. They get all these benefits from US tax dollars. I pay the bill. You pay the bill. We need to change that, folks.
They're
need to change
gonna
that
get
reality.
their comeuppance, as they say in Southern American
Yeah.
accent. Jihad, we did this tour to your village. What's your impression seeing it now after the war?
It's heartbreaking. It's very sad. As you heard my cousin maybe mention earlier, we lost 64 people in this small town of just a few thousand population. It's just another reminder of the cancer we have across the border. 2 kilometers that way.
And we can hear the drone, it's even closer to us.
Yeah, they were just over our heads earlier.
Yeah, there's a silent one that was going in circles right on top of us. So it's a welcoming committee to you.
Yeah. And we are worried because they're so unhinged. They don't care if we're civilian. That's how they are. They just kill indiscriminately.
And they don't care that you're American, or that I'm Canadian.
That I'm a veteran. They don't care. No. And it's also the geopolitics. They don't want the shift to the east, to China and Russia. They want to be the best friend, or the fake friend, I should say.
Well, this whole thing about, constantly talking about the Judeo-Christian civilization, they want the Arabs into this quote-unquote Abraham Accord in order that they can claim that they represent the Judeo-Christian Muslim civilization, which is us. But they are supposed to be our reference as the original Jews, the original Christians, the original Muslims. We're supposed to get our reference from Whitey on the moon, as the poets would say.
Yeah. Let's legalize DNA tests in there. I don't want to say the name.
In the Zionist colony.
And occupied Palestine, that's what I should say.
Yes. Well, if the time comes and Palestine is liberated, I know a lot of people talk about the one-state solution, but I personally don't think they would want to be to live equals with us. And after this genocide, I, as a person who used to talk about the one-state solution, I personally would refuse the remainder in our land.
I feel your anger and why you would think that way. I feel like if a one-state solution would be Palestine, right?
Yes.
And anybody could live there, Jew, Christian, Muslim.
That's how it
right?
was before.
That's how it was before. Other than a few local, maybe warlords fighting each other, for the most part, communities here lived in coexistence. Minorities flourished. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the last major conflicts that happened in this world before the creation of this cancerous Zionist state was the last crusade.
And this is why I call
Invasion
this the
of the white man.
Jewsade. Today I call it the Jewsade.
Right.
Because they are coming in the name of Judaism and ethnically cleansing our land.
Yeah.
It's
I thankfully have several Jewish friends that I can vouch for in the US who are like-minded and think like us. And I could live side by side with that person. But a fascist Jewish supremacist, I want to punch in the neck.
That's
Just for fun.
Should be the punishment of any fascist, no matter what their religion is.
Yeah.
You know, we in our mind, people of this region, we, you know, the Prophet Muhammad before his last words before his death, he said, anyone with an atom of faith will go to heaven. Not anyone who is with an atom of Islam in his heart will go to heaven. Anyone who has an atom of faith. And that means, you know, anyone that believes in God and have treated other human beings in a just way.
And the Bible has a similar verse. I want to try and quote it. If ye have as much faith as a mustard seed. And then more or less the same story. I forget the exact quote. I can't quote it exactly, but look it up. Matthew. I think it's in Matthew.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, a one-state solution for me is a Palestinian state where everybody's equal from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free, and Lebanon and the whole Arab region, Eastern Mediterranean, Western Asia, whatever you want to call it. But those Jewish supremacists, once that one-state solution comes into existence, they're going to fuck off. They're going to go back to Poland and Brooklyn and Beverly Hills.
And Trump will give them refugee status like he's giving the white South Africans that are claiming to be oppressed when they own 80% almost of all arable land in South Africa is owned by these white settlers. Afrikaners. Remember this. They call themselves Afrikaner to denote that they are indigenous to Africa and the black African isn't. Just like they call themselves Semites and want to extract us from our Semitism from Bilad al-Sham. Well, Jay, thank you very much for allowing us to go on this trip from Beirut to your home here in Ainata. This is Laith Marouf from Free Palestine TV. This was a collaboration with our comrades from Colonial Outcasts.
Shout out to Mark Wayne. Shout out to Greg Stoker. Shout out to all the veterans in the US who stand up for the right thing. I love you guys. I miss you. I'll be seeing you soon.
Visit all their socials, Colonial Outcast, to watch this and all of their other productions. Visit our website, freepalestine.video, to donate so we can continue bringing you this amazing content.
Yeah. Just to add, this is the second field report of Colonial Outcasts. We did the first one just a month ago. Check that out. We commemorated the unveiling of the Bushnell Range in California.
God bless his soul, Aaron Bushnell.
He made a great sacrifice and the US government gave him no honor. So we decided to do it ourselves. Mark Wayne, particularly, who invested a lot to make this happen. And I got your back, Mark. I'll be there soon. And we'll be doing more field reports, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And I would welcome you guys to come back. Maybe I'll have this place a little bit cleaned up and we can have a proper meal.
Yes.
And I could show you a few other things if I find them.
We will be here, inshallah, as soon as you're ready for us to come back. And until we meet you all next time, we wish you all a free Palestine.
Free Palestine.